Texting often throughout the week, and on Saturday, he hit me up and asked if I wanted to go out for dinner. I was already getting my nails done, so I said sure and gave him the address of the nail shop. He came and even paid for my nails, which I thought was super sweet. As the evening went on, he ordered 9 double shots of Hennessy over the course of the date. When we got back to my car, he asked to come over and sober up. Against my better judgment, I obliged. While we were in my living room, he started talking about his ex and how she tried to ruin his business. I'm listening, but not really listening until he said, I met this guy at the Shell gas station near my old apartment complex. He was tall, brown skinned, had a great smile, and drove a red Camaro. He asked to take me out to lunch right then, but I had to go to work, so we just exchanged numbers and I went about my day. We were texting often throughout the week, and on Saturday, he hit me up and asked if I wanted to go out for dinner. I was already getting my nails done, so I said sure and gave him the address of the nail shop. He came and even paid for my nails, which I thought was super sweet.
Damn, such a smooth ass man, eh? He comes in, pays for her nails and all that. Like, what's next, bro? What are you gonna pay for next? Huh? Are you gonna pay for her groceries? Are you gonna pay her rent?
That is pretty nice of him. When I got in his car, it smelled like straight Hennessy. When I asked him, he said he spilled some earlier. I didn't think much more. Spilled some Hennessy. Okay.
That's funny. He said he spilled Hennessy. Why did he spill Hennessy? Unless he had Hennessy on his hand. How could he have spilled Hennessy without drinking Hennessy? The boy was taking a shot and he just spilled it on himself.
We ordered drinks and food and everything was going okay. Some red flags, but nothing too serious. He told me about his trucking business that he had started and he had family issues. As the evening went on, he ordered 9 double shots of Hennessy over the course of the date. 9 double shots of Hennessy?
Bruh, this guy's an alcoholic. That's it, bro. Are you drinking 9 shots of Hennessy? You're an alcoholic.
This nigga's alcoholic. He apparently spilled Hennessy in the car, and now he ordered 9 double shots of Hennessy. Let's keep reading. The bill ended up being around $400. At the time, I was so confused on how he wasn't drunk after all those shots. He's alcoholic. That's an alcoholic. He paid and we left. At least he paid. I offered to drive us back to my car, and he said he was good. I sent the description of his car to my favorite white friend and his name. Why'd you say white friend like that?
Yeah, why would you say white friend? What does that have to do with anything? You could have just said my friend. Why would you say my white friend? Why you gotta bring race into this?
Why'd you specify like your favorite white friend? Why is that in there? When we got back to my car, he asked to come over and sober up. Against my better judgment, I obliged, of course. While we were in my living room, he started talking about his ex and how she tried to ruin his business. I'm listening, but not really listening until he said, and now I have to go to court behind this bitch. Court of law? I asked. He said yes, and went on a roller coaster of emotions about his ex. My favorite white friend. Why do you keep saying favorite white friend? What is that about?
Yeah, what's up with the race? Why you gotta bring race into this? You can just easily say my favorite friend. Why do we need to know the race? Does that add anything to this story whatsoever?
My favorite white friend texted me and sent multiple attachments of this man's record after doing some online snooping. He had a DV, sexual assault, revenge porn, and other alarming charges by multiple women. At this point, I wanted him to leave, but the alcohol caught up to him. He went from crying about his ex to trying to fuck me in a matter of minutes. I told him he needed to go home and get some sleep. I offered to Uber him and call someone for him, but he refused. I informed him he had to leave, but I wanted him to be safe. He was really drunk. When he started to get aggressive with his language, I started planning an exit. I lived on the top floor of an apartment with 3 other apartments on my floor. I opened my front door and continued telling him he had to go. He called me a crazy bitch, ugly, black, and everything he could think of. And then he apologized and asked to stay.
Yeah, so you thought this was gonna let you stay, yeah? You thought this was gonna work. You thought by disrespecting her like that, it was gonna do something, eh?
After some back and forth, he finally walked out of my apartment. I already had my keys in my hand, so I locked and closed the door behind us. Now we're in the hallway having the same back and forth. I tried to get him out of the building while still making sure he was safe. Once he finally left out of the building, I asked him one last time, do you want me to get him an Uber? He started cursing me out and telling me I owe him because he paid for everything. While yelling at me, he stopped mid-sentence and started throwing up in his hands. Once his hands were full of vomit, he dropped it on his shoes, wiped his hands on his shirt, and continued throwing up in his hands. I started slowly moving back towards the door. Then I heard him passing gas, a lot of gas. And then I heard his body passing something else.
Yo, that's hella nasty. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's nasty.
He was crying hysterically at this point while still throwing... What the fuck is going on? What is this? What the fuck? He yelled out bitch and started laying on the hood of his car. The backside of his white jeans were not white anymore. I closed the door, blocked his number, and went back to my apartment. Hours later, I get a text from another number. It was him asking for his leftover food, stating he paid for it and he wanted it. I told him I trashed it and blocked the number too. I ended up blocking about 4 numbers before I reminded him of his court date. He cursed me out again via text, but he did stop eventually. First of all, you guys gotta stop meeting guys at gas stations. No more meeting men at gas stations. Let's just start with that one. Next, you got in his whip and it smelled like Hennessy, and he said, I spilled some earlier. And you said, oh, I didn't think too much of it. He just spilled Hennessy in his car. Like, you know, that's normal. Okay. Then he had 9 shots of Hennessy. You witnessed it. And because he said, I'm good, you hopped in his whip. At what point does the judgment say this is a bad idea? I'm really trying to, like, not your fault, most of it, but ample opportunity to say, I'm gonna go home, which ultimately results in you arguing with the man throwing up and shitting himself in the parking lot.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, the fact that you believed him when he told you he spilled the whole Hennessy thing, like, that's out of my mind. The flags were right there. You knew that, you know? And not only that, the other part too was the fact that how come you brought him to your house? Like, a lot of these stories, you find out that these women, they oblige to whatever the man wants, you know? He asks if he can come use the bathroom, she says yes. He asks if he can come pet her dog, she says yes. He asks if she, you know, you do all of this and then later on you end up regretting because the dude doesn't want to leave. The story just escalates. Like right now, you know, you're out there on the top floor arguing with this man. He could have done anything. He could have chucked your ass out of that window. What would you have done then, right? So you guys got to be safe out there, you know. Girls, I'm talking to y'all. Y'all got to be safe. You gotta be smart, you know. You gotta start thinking wisely out here. You meeting dudes from gas stations and you believe everything they tell you about. Up until when it's too late, their bullshit catches up with them and you realize, oh my God, they're a walking red flag.
Nothing is more humbling than when you break up with a man and you like, he gonna come back. They always come back. He gonna be back. And then he don't come back. Was it that bad?
Hey, yo, those are my favorite kind of dudes out there, bro. I'm like, yo, you guys sticking to your word. You ain't going back. All right, I like that. You know, you'd rather be single. You'd rather be dry, out there hitting them dry spell, and then go back to your crazy ass ex. That's awesome. Because a lot of guys out there would also go back, all right? Don't get me wrong. They would go and apologize and tell her, like, how wrong they were. They'll bring her a bouquet of flowers, even though she was on the wrong, all right? Because it's coming from a scarcity mindset. They feel like they'll never meet anyone like her. Yeah, that's the worst position to be in.
Toronto women are like absolute savages, okay? I was on a date recently, and we were talking about like careers at one point, and I told her like, yeah, like I thought growing up it'd be so cool to be like a detective. It was like kind of like a throwaway comment, whatever. I did legitimately think it'd be cool to be a detective when I was younger. And then like it's like we're getting a little deeper now. We're talking about like some family shit, and I just casually drop, oh yeah, like I never really like grew up with my dad, you know? Never met him. And then she just like stops and she's like, oh, is that like why you wanted to be a detective? Like you want to find your dad? Woman, I just met you. Who? Bro, what? Dude, I was laying in bed that night. Like, is that why? Like, I don't know. That fucked me up. That was the craziest thing.
Yo, this guy doesn't realize that the biggest detectives out there are women. And women are always, since they overthink, they're always going to be piecing things together. Even though they may be wrong, that's how they are. They love to solve things, riddles and all that stuff, right? And they jump to conclusion as well. So you already know, if you want to be a detective, just ask them women. They'll give you advice.
I got one friend girl, bad bitch. All my homies ask, hey, yo, 3, why you don't hit that? Why you don't hit that? I know why. I'm cool. I'm cool. But when we go out, this bitch turn heads. I'm talking about, and she don't be turning heads at the niggas for real. She be turning heads at the bitches. And I love that the most. That's the best part of the game. Because when we out, they think me and her together. Bad bitch. I look like I'm supposed to be with her too. Because, you know, I get bad bitches, right? Bad bitches, right? And then I go tell her, hey, yo, go tell her I'm trying to get at her. Ooh, because I already know she thinking that we together. She push up that of my friends and get you. That's not your nigga? Nah, ooh. Let's see about that. Boom, instant bag of chips. Oh, and don't think she don't do the same. Cause on who? I look good. I make sure I come out fresh and say look like I'm supposed to be her nigga. And then I walk up to a nigga and be like, all right, bro. Hey, yo, you saw her right there? Bad bitch, right? Yeah, she trying to see about that. Go shoot your shot. He like, what? Bro, go ahead. Go ahead. We are a team. When we out, demon time.
Hey, yo, bro just exposed the game right there. Take notes, boys. Yeah. You know, how many times out there you ever seen a baddie with some dude and you thought it was her boyfriend? Simply, your mind just jumps to the conclusion. You're like, yeah, they gotta be dating for sure. Meanwhile, they're just besties, yo. They're just friends. But it's playing to that image kind of part, right? people don't really know the inside details. They just judge what they see. So you don't really gotta be dating her. As long as you're with her, people are gonna assume, right? So yeah, that's like right there, fishermen teaching you how to catch fish 101.
If you're a guy who films thirst traps and posts them, I'm just wondering. Honestly, I'm just wondering. Were you feeling cute that day? Were you feeling extra fruity? Were you in your feminine era? Like, what was going on, girl? No, seriously, because why are grown men posting thirst traps?
Hey yo, it's the same reason why women are posting thirst traps as well, right? Sometimes guys want validation, they want attention. Sometimes they want a woman to just reach out to them, right? They want a woman to just be feeling them like that, you know? So sometimes it works, bro. I ain't gonna lie, you know? That's like how to catch a fish right there, you know? You just gotta snare up the trap and you're good. Especially if you look good. If you look good, trust me, then thirst traps are gonna work.
So this rant is for my fellow Hinge users. If you're still using this app, delete it, get rid of it. And I'm here to say this for really one reason, is I don't know if you guys have noticed, I have seen several stories on my TikTok where people are complaining that the app is learning their algorithm of what they like, what they swipe on, and they're moving those people to a different tab on the app, and you have to essentially send them a rose, and once you send 1 rose per week, you have to pay for additional roses, and it's like $10 for a set of 3. And paying $10 to literally send a like to 3 people is absolutely atrocious, not even minding the fact that any kind of premium subscription to the app is $25 or over. The other apps are a little bit pricey too. However, I wouldn't say they go to the links that Hinge does. And I say this with a little bit of proof is because I also have other dating apps like Tinder. I used to have Bumble, and I do swipe on Tinder. And the same people that I'm matching with on Tinder, who are appearing on the star section, roses section on Hinge, I'm matching with on Tinder, but they're not showing in my feed on Hinge. So it is going to prove that Hinge is making you pay significantly more to match with people. Granted, at the end of the day, dating apps everybody has their own opinion on them. Granted, as a young gay man, they are just a little bit more efficient. But at the end of the day, if you guys are noticing the same thing, delete that app.
Yeah, to be honest, he's giving you game right here. He's telling you the truth. These dating apps, they're not there for your benefit, bruh. They're there to make money. So they control, these algorithms, they control exactly who you match with, who you see, and who you're shown to. So if you ain't getting matches, chances are first of all, you're really ugly. Second of all, yeah, the algorithm is controlling shit. And third of all, boy oh boy, they want your money. They want your cash, cha-ching. They want you to be buying them swipes and roses and whatever, right? So you don't want to be falling into that trap. Get out while you still can. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you all thought about this video, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. All right, peace.